talking about David's life today. In life, there are seasons. And I look in David's life, and there was a particular season where God set him apart. Now, sometimes God set us apart in order to do something with our lives. He prepares us for what's coming next. He knew that David is going to face Goliath. And that's why he set him apart. Start training his spiritual muscles, start training his physical muscles for what is coming. Well, if David wasn't one with God, he would have said to the world, I'm rejected. But what we call rejected, God called set apart. Set apart for a time such as this. You know, many times that I would look at people's life and their lives look like it's just going on. And here I am, and I have challenges, and I have things that I have to do. And God is saying, this is your season now. I am preparing you for what is coming. Now, as the bride of Christ, God is preparing all of us now, because He knows what is coming. So if you go through labor pains where we are, and you start feeling the cramps, and maybe the water already broke, you need to know, hey, things are speeding up. When the water breaks, every woman knows, now it's no more time for playing. Now we're heading for the end. Now you don't want to talk different stories. You don't care what anybody wears today. You don't care about the brand name. You want to go to the hospital or wherever you're going to have your baby. So you have a mission. You need to bring forth this baby. And this is the hour that we are in. The hour where God is going to bring forth His glory. He's going to bring forth the fire of God on earth. The hour of Joel 2. This is the times that we are living in. But unfortunately, it is not always comfortable. And when we go through these times, you know, for a woman at her end, it's not comfortable. I always said, you know, when I started walking like a dog, I knew it was at the end. So if you're out of your normal rhythm, you need to know everything is coming to a point. Let's look at David's life. So David made many mistakes. There were things in his past that could kept him away from God's perfect plan. And I'm very sure David also asked God, can I start again? Can I just have a second chance? And I want to encourage you today, our Abba Father, He is the God of second chances. He is the God that constantly gives us a new chance. Every day, He says, every morning, my mercy are new. My grace for you are new. So David had to fight with his bare hands wild animals. And you think what you're going through stuff? He then defeated Goliath. He was a best friend. He was an anointed king. Well, if I look at his CV, he was a successful man. So God calls success not only our finance, or not only the way you do business, or do this or this. No, God looks at your spirit, your soul, your body. He wants us in all areas of our lives to be successful. He wants us to overcome in all areas of our lives. There's going to be Goliaths in your life that you need to overcome with your bare hands. And you're going to need to go through things to overcome that. Or to have some CV and credentials on paper are definitely different than do it in practical. To preach to you and say, you know, you need to serve, you need to do this, and to go and do it yourself is completely a different thing. And it's there where we do it ourselves, where God can start touching our own hearts, where He can show us what in our own hearts are still in the way. You know, life has circles, and like a baby needs to be nurtured and taken care of. And then the circle of life goes, and our parents taking care of us. And then when life ends at the end, and just before you go out again, it's kind of that God give us all a second chance. How for me now, how my mom's in my home, I get a second chance, you know, to look her in the eyes every day. And if there was anything between us, helping her on the toilet, helping her with all the detail, really put you in a very vulnerable place. And where our hearts, when I lift her up and I hold her, because she can't stand, she's lame on the one side. So that hold, I always say to her, all the hugs that I didn't get or I didn't give you, I'm sorry. God forced us now to hug. So then when I lift her up, I just hold her and I said, I'm taking this hug and I'm giving you this hug. All those years that I was so busy and I didn't even phone you and I didn't even tell you where in the world I was, and you were longing for this hug. Every day, here's this hug. Every night when I help her in bed, this is your hug, Mom. God is a God of new mercies every day, and we see it even in David's life. So David had a few skeletons in the cupboard. He was a murderer, he was an adulterer, sexual misconduct, disobedience, the list goes on. And quite frankly, I can put my name in there. All the things that I've done in my life. And when I bring that to the throne and I look it in the eyes, this is where God says, I'm a God of mercy. I take it away with my blood, the blood of my son, Jesus, the Messiah. But what did David do? What do I learn from him? He brought his sins to the light. He admitted and confessed them to the living God. And then he turned his back. It is sometimes difficult, but you need to turn your back on yesterday and what happened yesterday. We can't always bring it with. We need to deal with it and leave it. So David opens his heart honestly and humbly before God. And he knew that confession means turn around. And then for me, confession also means having another chance. I just love that from God. Every morning when the sun comes up, I know a new day, a new chance. So David is not too proud to start again. Success in my eyes is not how many times you fall, but how many times you get up. I mean, even in business, it's perseverance, it's the endurance that is the success. It is for the one that can hold on and persistently do the same thing and just every day do it better and every day stronger and every day with more perseverance, doing the same thing. And when God says move, you move. If God shows you a new thing, and I believe with all my heart this is the season that we are in, God is going to give us all new business ideas, new things, new skills. This is the time of Joel too. I mean, this is what he said. He says, I'm going to give visions, dreams. He's going to give revelation. You're going to see young people coming to the Lord, old people getting dreams. It's a very, very, very interesting times that we are living in. And the fire of God is going to come. He's going to answer with fire. He's the God that answers with fire. He is the God that answers with fire. I want you to hear that. The Baal priest couldn't answer, but our God, he's alive, and he's the God that answers with fire. But do you call unto him? Because those who call unto him, he does answer. And he wants to answer you as he did for David. He's going to do it for you and for me. So David badly wants to reconcile and to whatever was wrong in his life to make it right. And he prepared himself for change. Now, change is difficult for all of us. We just all love if everything goes smooth. But I've seen God moved in my life when it's tough, when it's rough. And I see how God trained us to take whatever comes our way, just to take hold of it and put our focus on him, and one step in front of the other, but as unto the King, as unto the King. I want to encourage you in the hour that we are in, not to be afraid. Even in the USA, if you're there right now, whatever you face, don't be afraid. God is still on the throne. God used whatever the enemy throw to us, he used it for his glory. And doesn't matter who's going to be in office, God is on the throne. And this is why I'm talking about prayer. He's just taking our prayer lives on a higher dimension. He's opening more realms for us to enter in. And we are really, really in laboring pains, and the water starts breaking and the fire is starting to release and everybody's starting to feel the fire. But you don't need to be afraid. Deal in your life what you need to deal with. Pray for your children. Pray for your family. I bless you today with your coming in, going out. I bless you, your prayer life, your relationship with God. And just know that we are living in times that we're going to see a real great outpour of God's glory, of what God is doing. But I think it's going to look different than what the world is expecting. This is why some people are looking for, oh, it's just going to fall out of heaven. It's an upside down kingdom. It's going to look different. You know, the more humble we become, the more power comes out of us. And this is the hour where God is saying, you're going to speak to the dry bones and it's going to come alive. You're going to start speaking to your children's spirit and they are going to come alive. You're going to start speaking to your situation and you're going to see the dry bones coming alive. Isn't that exciting times? My friend, don't ever make your circumstances and your situation bigger than God. If you do that, you just don't know God yet. He's on the throne and he's a mighty, mighty king. You know what? He's the most high God. He's your father. He's my father. He's our Abba. He says we can call him Abba. What a privilege. I bless you with a wonderful day in God's presence.